I want to tell you guys a little story. So, a couple of months ago, when GMC started accepting USMLE as a way to get registered and work as a doctor in the UK, our message boxes became absolutely inundated with doctors who were trying for the match in the United States and just couldn't get in. So these are people who were like, it's been one attempt, but I don't have enough money to try again, or it's been three, four, five, whatever number of attempts, and this wasn't just fiscally or even just in general a good idea for me anymore. So we were like, fine, sure, here's the information, here's how you do it, go ahead and get your GMC registration. But oddly enough, pretty much every single person ended this message that they sent us with, please don't tell anyone I'm trying to get registered in the UK. And we didn't get it. I mean, sure, one or two of them were actually individuals who were part of a coaching program who tried to get individuals to, hey, yeah, let's get you matched in the United States. So I could get why they didn't want anyone to know they were actually going ahead and getting registered in the UK since they couldn't get into the match. But for the other people, the people who were basically, spilling their guts to us, telling us, oh man, all the money I went into this, all of the time, the resources, the struggle of my USMLE journey, it didn't work out. I want to go to the UK. What was it for them that made them feel like they couldn't let anyone know that they were going to be working as a doctor in the NHS? If this is the first time you're checking out our channel, welcome. Basically what we do is we run a website that's totally free known as roadtok.com, and it will explain the ins and outs about everything related to the United Kingdom and what it takes for you to work as a doctor in the NHS. So if you've not already, please stalk us on all of our social media. Find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Hey guys, my name's Ibreez and I currently work as a doctor in the NHS. And what we're going to be talking about are the 5 common misconceptions about doctors who work in the NHS. We're totally going to debunk them today. We're just going to talk about it, see what y'all think, and go from there. So misconception number 1. The biggest misconception is that if you're working as a doctor in the NHS, you won't get paid. It's weird. People are like, oh yeah, but you're doing a training job. They won't pay you for the training job. You're going to have to pay them. No, you don't even pay for your applications here for training. Be it a training or a non-training job in the UK, you're not paying at any step of the way for any part of the, application process or their version of the match or anything like that. Now, if you're concerned about exactly how much you get paid, depending on your level and experience, we have 2 videos about that. One where Ibrahim talks about the generalized salary or the pay of a doctor in the UK, and another one where he actually takes out his payslip and then you get a clear idea of where your money's going. So, not really sure where this misconception started from, but I want to say it's probably the biggest thing people message us when they're like, fine, okay, yeah, I want to work in the UK, but do you get paid? Guys, you're working. It's a job. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to get paid, so don't worry about that.
Over the years, we have written hundreds of guidance articles in order to guide international medical graduates in their road to UK. But at the same time, we recognize that even after reading all of this, some personal things still remains unclarified, and that is where our personal one-to-one guidance session comes into play. You can now book a one-to-one session with either Ibreez or Ibrahim, depending on our availability, which is available on our intelligent appointment booking system. You can talk about anything related to your career in the UK from entirely your personal perspective, or you can choose to talk about a specific topic like your pathways to obtain GMC registration, or how you can apply for a job. We can have a look at your CV personally and give you tips and advice to improve your profile, and at the same time give you personal specific guidelines for obtaining the training position in your desired training specialty. You can see a lot of doctors already have taken these sessions and have gotten helped from us, and I hope you will be one of them too. In order to book a session with us, you can choose which one of the sessions that you want to book with us and click book this session and choose the mentor, and that will take you to our booking system where you can go through our availability and choose the specific date you want to choose, and This way you can confirm and put the details to finalize the event booking.
Misconception number 2. Training in the UK takes forever. You're going to be someone who's stuck in training for at least 10-15 years, guys. Don't expect for it to end any sooner, because you know what? The UK system is insane. They just want you to be stuck in their program as long as they can keep you.
Wrong. Wrong. Wrong.
Of course that's not true. Like, we have a whole video explaining that. And even if we didn't have a whole video explaining that, it's pretty easily debunked if you just check the specialty training websites, and you can see how long the training programs are for different specialities. On average in the UK, your training program will be about 3 to 8 years. It's not too bad. It's pretty much what it is in the States as well. I don't know about other countries around the world, but 3 to 8 years, not unreasonable. Of course, there's going to be somebody who's going to be like, excuse me, Ibreez, you forgot to add in the time that it'll take you to get into training. Not something most people do for other countries, but for the UK, for some reason, everyone's super particular about that. Sure. So if you only have internship experience, yeah, you're going to need at least 1 year of experience post-internship to join in training. But if you already have that experience, guess what? You can directly join into training. You don't have to do the foundation years. You don't. I want to make this very clear to whoever's watching this video. You do not have to do the foundation years to work as a doctor in the UK. If you've already met the criteria of an acceptable pattern of internship and you have full GMC registration, you can directly start into GP training, internal medicine training, even higher specialty training, depending on whether or not you've gotten your competencies signed. That actually is the biggest concern. So unlike places like in the United States where you have to start at PGY1, you can, in the UK, start as a core trainee, or even as a higher specialty trainee, or even in certain situations, if you have all the paperwork, you can start directly as a consultant. But that is for a whole another video. Just want to make it very clear about the length of the training. Don't believe everything you hear. Misconception number 3. IMGs don't get into any sort of competitive specialties. In fact, IMGs can only ever be GPs or general practitioners. I do not know where this one started, because definitely that's not true. I can prove it to you in so many ways. Actually, I don't need to prove it to you. I mean, you just can come to any hospital in the NHS and you just look up the rosters for different specialities across the board, and you will find there are people from different backgrounds, and guess what? They're in every single speciality you can think of. So it might be that people think this because maybe most IMGs opt for GP training since it's only 3 years. It's fairly short. There is an increased need for GPs across the UK, so perhaps they're thinking, all right, my chances of getting in are relatively good. But see, the thing is, guys, the whole competition part of it, the UK has removed any sort of restriction related to you being foreign or being someone who holds a passport from outside of the UK or the EU EEA. And they have leveled the playing field. It is completely merit-based. So if your portfolio and the way that you perform in the interview for a competitive specialty is better than one of their own graduates, guess what? You get chosen. It's as simple as that. Just to put that into perspective, even when, for instance, and this of course will depend on the specialty. So when Ibrahim and I applied for our internal medicine training seats, that rule was still in place that you had to, at least be a UK EU EA graduate to apply for the first round of training. Otherwise, you had to wait for the re-advert. And the reason why it was limited then for a lot of IMGs in the re-advert was that if it was a fairly competitive specialty, there weren't that many seats left in the re-advert. So we applied for IMT, our internal medicine training, in the re-advert, and we still managed the place that we wanted to be and the rotations that we wanted to be in. Now, of course, it would have been probably easier had it been in the round 1, but that's what it is right now, guys. Everyone can apply in round 1. So don't think there can be anyone out there who says, oh, you can't get into that kind of specialty training. You can't be a surgeon. You can't be a pediatrician or a gynecologist. That's not for IMGs. If anyone's telling you that, they don't know any better. And we have a whole video talking about what's IMG friendly actually in the United Kingdom that you guys should definitely check out. Misconception number 4. There is so much racism in the United Kingdom. In fact, there's so much racism that even if you're really good for a job, they won't hire you. And on top of that, you won't even get into the type of training that you want because of this racism. So let's talk about that. I personally am of the belief that racism is rampant across the world because humans, for some reason, have this predilection for wanting to split and make categories and say, I'm better than you because of this reason or that reason. And it's fairly ridiculous. I mean, we've had people message us from their own country saying that within my country, I face racism. So I suppose in that sense, you might understand why somebody may believe that the same would be in the United Kingdom. I'm not saying there isn't racism. Like I said before, I believe there's racism everywhere, and it's not one particular person or one particular background who is going to be more racist than another person. But the difference is in the UK, there's something that you can do about it. There are ways for you to raise these concerns within your hospital setting, even if it's a patient. So if a patient's being racist to you, if it's a colleague, a consultant, anything like that, there are resources and places for you to go and talk to someone about this. It could be within the hospital, it could be your freedom to speak up guardian, it could be your line manager, it could be other people within the trust who are there to help you understand what's happening and what steps can be better taken. There shouldn't be any situation or any reason for you to find racism as something that is acceptable. You shouldn't just stand by and let it happen. If you believe any sort of wrong is being done to you, you have the right to raise that concern and speak up about it and say, actually, guys, the way this person is treating me is not appropriate and we need to do something about it. I know this next point may not be something that everyone is concerned about, but a lot of people do ask me in that vein of racism if I'm ever told that I can't wear a scarf to work. And that's never happened. Guys, I don't know if you've seen our Instagram photos or any of our videos where we've even shot in the hospital. I am wearing a scarf. I am covering my head. So there's nothing that's ever stopped me from doing that, even going outside and wearing a scarf. I know a lot of people do kind of get concerned about, well, what if I look different? I'm the only person that looks the way I look. But that, for me at least, should be your reason to shine, your opportunity to tell people that, hey, I'm someone from this background, from this culture, and this is the way I am, and make friends. It shouldn't be that you should already feel that somebody will necessarily act a particular way to you because you're from a different background. It is difficult, I get it, to assimilate to something completely new, but that's part of the adventure of you coming and working in a new country. At least that's what I feel. And the best part of all of that is that it's a learning opportunity for you, and it's a learning opportunity for the people that you work with. And for me, that's always a great thing. If you can try and transcend what you think or what people expect and instead show the way the reality actually is. Finally, misconception number 5. They will never let you be a citizen. Never is a pretty harsh word. Like, I want to know who sat down and was like, guys, that's never going to happen. So the way it works in the United Kingdom is you come on your, health skill visa, what was called the tier 2 visa, your work visa, you're working as a doctor, chugging along, 5 years go by, and guess what? You can apply for indefinite leave to remain, or ILR. A lot of people also call it permanent residence, or PR, or, it's like the green card-ish equivalent, I suppose. With that ILR, you're effectively almost there. You can do what you want in the sense that you don't have to be working. You can locum. This is one of the things about the ILR. You don't have to be within a stipulated contract. And then 1 year after you have your ILR, you can apply for British citizenship. So basically, your entire citizenship pathway would take about 6 years. So we're talking about, your skilled worker visa, not your student visas or your tier 5 visas, because those are a whole nother debacle. We're not going to get into that right now. We're talking about you coming here, you're working as a doctor, straight up on this pathway, 5 years, bam, ILR, 1 more year, bam, citizenship. That's it. I know in other countries, it's pretty complicated. You may or may not even be on what's called, or considered, I suppose, an immigrant visa at all during your residency. Hint, hint, the US. And I think a little bit about why people get confused with the UK giving citizenship is probably because how difficult it is in the United States, depending on what type of visa you get, and you might need a waiver, and you might have to go back to your country for a certain period of time unless somebody says, no, we really need you to stay, and there's like a whole headache about it. So no, there's nothing like that. The UK, everyone will be sponsoring your visa for your training application or a non-training job. You work for 5 years, ILR, then another year, and citizenship. And that's it. I know it sounds really simple, and you're just like, how can it be this easy? Ibreez, no, there must be something else. But sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. And here, sometimes it is really just a straight line to citizenship. But yeah, that's it. And just to clarify one other point that people have sometimes asked us, you don't have to do these 5 years before you get your ILR as a trainee. You can be a non-training doctor for those 5 years. You can be on a dependent visa, like for instance, your spouse is on a main applicant visa and you're with them for those 5 years. Maybe you're not even working, or you're working, whatever you're doing. However, those 5 years come together. Maybe they're all training, maybe they're half training, maybe no training, whatever. It's just you got to get to those 5 years and submit your ILR application, and then a year after that you apply for citizenship. So there y'all have it. 5 common misconceptions debunked. Now, of course, you may have other concerns and other reasons that made you think, I really shouldn't want to work in the UK. And if you do have any of those concerns, please feel free to comment below and we'll get to it and hopefully be able to clarify that point for you. But until next time, please remember to be subscribed to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want to be secretly in the know of everything that we're doing, check out our newsletter. It's in the description box below. But until then, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.